So we see here Lord Kapila, he is continuing to speak to Mother Devahuti. Kapila is addressed as Lord as well, because he is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Okay, someone is already saying Krishna. Although he is a sage, but he is considered as a Shaktavesha avatara of Krishna. And here he is speaking something really very, very important. And it is an expansion of what Krishna also explained in Bhagavad Gita about the material nature. Krishna also has spoken in Gita elaborately. Same thing is expanded here even more intricately. Chapter titled as Understanding the Material Nature. The last few verses, Kapila Muni is explaining how to understand a self-realized soul. What are his nature? How does he behave himself? How does he live himself? What is his consciousness? And here we see the continuity of the same. It's very important to understand the position of self-realized souls. Now, it is mentioned in the previous verse as Atmadrik or Satyadrik. Although living beings in the material world are predominantly who exist here are conditioned in nature. They are conditioned by the material modes of nature. Anyone living here, de facto they are conditioned. And their vision is also conditioned, because vision is based on the consciousness. The nature of my consciousness determines how I see the things. There are many things within this creation. I see them, I relate with them based on the status of my consciousness. But in this world, we also see some great devotees of the Lord also coming here down. And they have no need, they have no purpose, there is no necessity for them. But they are coming here with a different cause, with a different purpose, so that they can teach the world that how to get liberated from the conditioned state of life. But when they come here, it may apparently also look like they are also conditioned by the material modes of nature. They are also influenced by the modes of nature. Apparently, seemingly it may look like they are also getting old. They also sometimes may go through some bodily trouble, apparently, seemingly. Best example is our own Acharya, our own spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. No. Seemingly, apparently, it may look like Prabhupada underwent so many tribulations. Now, we always say, how Prabhupada, when he traveled in cargo ship, he experienced thrice heart attack. So it may common man, he may get a sympathy. Okay, oh, in spite of such difficulty, challenges, he traveled. Oh, very nice. But unless one understands the position of a pure devotee, which a common man may not have, at least initially, until they understand in detail the life history of a pure devotee, the nature of a pure devotee through the information, through the realization, through the instructions that is given in Bhagavatam, we may not be able to see a pure Vaishnava actually what he is. We are trying to see everything materially, from our material perspective. We are not naturally trying to see things from spiritual perspective, from a higher perspective, from the perspective of scriptures. And that is the difference between a conditioned soul seeing and a self-realized soul seeing things in this world. That's what in the last few verses, now it was so nicely explained that how a conditioned being sees, how does he relate with things, and how great souls, the pure self-realized souls, how they see things, is been very nicely explained by Kapila Muni and elaborated by Prabhupada. So, it is important to understand the position of a self-realized soul. And here in this verse, Kapila Muni says that sometimes a self-realized soul, actually in the verse, one cannot infer by its own that this verse is about a spiritual master or about the pure realized soul. The verse, Kapila Muni says, Bhuta Sukshmendriya Manaha Buddhi Adishu Iha Nidraya Lineshu Asati Yastatra Vinidro Nirahankriyaha. Prabhupada translates as, although a devotee appears to be merged in 5 material elements. Who is this devotee that is mentioned here? Because we have a tendency to ourselves identify as a devotee. That is correct. That's reasonably okay. But the qualities that is mentioned here, we try to impose upon ourselves. So if we don't have the right understanding or perspective that we get from the purports of Srila Prabhupada, we will misunderstand that this narration is about me. Although a devotee appears to be merged in 5 material elements, the objects of material enjoyment, the material senses, material mind, and intelligence, he is understood to be awake and to be freed from false ego. Generally, anyone who is bound by these aspects, what are those? 5 material elements, Bhutendriya, Sukshmendriya, the gross material elements and the subtle material elements, and they are also merged with the objects of material enjoyment. They are actually not awake. Here Kapila Muni says, a devotee, although he seemingly apparently looks like he is merged with these material elements, but he is still awake. Now, how to understand this? And he is freed from the false ego. Anyone who is merged with 5 material elements, which refers to all of us actually, we may be put under the category of a devotee, but we are still a devotee who is trying to perfect and become like a devotee, act like a pure devotee. We should be honest to accept that we are still not in this state of consciousness where we are freed from false ego. An ordinary person who is still not have any connect with Krishna consciousness, for him his life activities are fully executed under the state of false ego. False ego would be the central focal point of any action. But a devotee does not take up activities based on the false ego. Other day, when I was talking to one professional, so he was sharing how in the professional life, everything in an employment life or in a corporate life, things are, every conduct, every action, every dealing is based on ego. So, lot of ego management of different vertical members has to be done. So, sometimes it's very painful. But so much we have to calculate in dealing with people. How does he think? How does he act? If I speak like this, how does he feel? So, a lot of maneuvering of ego is required in handling people who are not yet devotees. But he was also able to see that Prabhuji, devotees are very simple to be handled because they don't conduct based on ego. This a common man is able to see. You see that. A common man is able to, little sensible man who has understood, who has dealt with two categories of people. One is a non-devotee and one is a devotee who is aspiring to become devotee. And if you see the life and if fortunately if he comes in connect with activities of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, he can see even more higher that their activities are not influenced by false ego. To deal with a devotee, we don't have to maneuver with their ego. Prabhupada says, or the scripture says, one should be straightforward. One should be very clear in, there is no scope of politics and diplomacy with in dealings with Vaishnavas. But the outside life, the corporate life is filled with politics and diplomacy. Without that, dealings cannot happen. So that is a state of life that is happening outside. They are fully merged with the five material elements. They are merged with material senses, material mind and intelligence. And because of that, they are not awake. They are always under illusion. They are in ignorance. What is the meaning of awake? Awake means not that they are not sleeping like. It's about the consciousness. Awake means their consciousness is illuminated. Their consciousness is above the three modes of nature. Like in the previous verse, in the previous purport, Prabhupada says that they are situated in Vasudeva platform. They are situated in a Shuddha Sattva. One conception is in the darkness of three folds of material nature, goodness, passion and ignorance, and other is a pure state of goodness called Shuddha Sattva or Vasudeva. So they are in a Vasudeva state of consciousness. And that's why they are able to see things as they are. And they act according to that platform. On the contrary, a conditioned soul, they are not able to see things as they are. Because they see through blunt material senses and they are merged in the material elements. They cannot see beyond. Although they are seeing, they are not able to see actually what it is. Na pashyan api na pashyati. They are seeing, but still they are not seeing. Because their seeing is influenced by material nature. But a pure Vaishnava, a great soul, a self-realized soul, is known as Satyadrik or Atmadrik. One who is a self-realized soul, he does not see in a way that how we are seeing. His vision, his perception is totally different than what is our vision and perception. In Prabhupada's pastimes, once Prabhupada, we know that Mayapur is a very iconic project which Prabhupada established. So what we see today, the great manifestation of the temple there, it was not so in the initial days when Prabhupada was living in 1970s. Prabhupada initially, before setting up the temple there, he was living in a small hut kind of setup. Even today when we go there, we must have seen that. No? I guess, suppose devotees who have visited, they would have seen a small hut kind of a setup which is today used as a 24-hour Sankirtan is performed there. And Prabhupada used to live there during the project manifestation days of Mayapur temple. So Prabhupada used to sit there and translate at his convenience. But because it is a hut, and you know that sometimes birds, they take their privilege to come and make their nest wherever they like, wherever it's comfortable for them. Like we see here in the temple, sometimes we don't want them to come inside a temple, but they somehow sneak inside and make their nest, and we are always watchful up and down, what is falling down and not. So similarly, these pigeons, they found a way to make a nest in the same hut where Prabhupada used to live, and he is translating Bhagavatam, and Prabhupada's secretary was Hare Krishna. So these pigeons, they are not silent, they always make a lot of noise, the creaking sound, how they make. When 2-3 pigeons are there together, they cannot be silent. But Hare Shauri, he is observing this. Pigeons have made a nest here and they are making noise here. And he found that this is their disturbance to Prabhupada, because when Prabhupada is translating, we know that Prabhupada says that when I am translating, so he does it with great attention, because he knows that he is doing it for the welfare of the world. He is doing for the benefit of the devotees. And Hare Shauri understood that this is a trouble, this is a disturbance. Because say just like now we are in a session, someone makes a noise behind this wall. So some people who are sitting here, they will understand and immediately rush there and tell them, oh, please be silent. Because attention is required. So it may be a disturbance. So Hare Shauri, he felt that this is a trouble, this is a disturbance for Prabhupada's translation work. So immediately he shoos off the pigeon from there, and he removes the nest also from there. So after some time, translation work is going on. After some days, again those pigeons came back there and made their nest. And again the same thing, Prabhupada is translating, and Hare Shauri Prabhu is surprised, how come these pigeons came back? We also face that sometimes. We shoo off, but they come back again. And we try to shoo them off, then they come back again. So like this a couple of times, Hare Shauri is doing this job of dismantling the nest and shooing them off. Prabhupada is observing this. Prabhupada is not sitting oblivious to what is happening, what is Harishori is doing. He understands that what Harishori is doing is not to trouble him. So after some time, Prabhupada stands up and he gives a very nice realization of his. It shows that how Prabhupada sees this world, how he perceives, how common man sees, just like how is mentioned here, how a self-realized soul sees things. So Prabhupada said to Harishori that how the pigeon is ignorant. That Harishori is coming continuously, showing off, dismantling, and he is again coming back, and again he is being chased off, but still he doesn't realize that this is not the place for me to live. Prabhupada compares the state of pigeon with ours. And he compares Harishori with whom does Harishori? Mayadev, material nature. The pigeon wants to settle down there. Happily it wants to settle down. And he is oblivious to the realistic situation, the fact that someone is chasing and again he is coming back. Prabhupada is seeing this, such a small incident, small thing. We can't perceive we can't even judge how pure devotee looks upon things in this world. But Prabhupada, when he is seeing this, he is seeing through in a higher perspective. He relates everything within this world. Prabhupada says, we are also like this. The living beings in this world are also like that. Maya is chasing us. We want to settle down here. We want to make things permanent here. And we want to be here always. Enjoy always. But Maya is always there behind us with a stick. Just like Harishori is always behind the pigeons with a stick, showing them off. So this is what a pure devotee sees. So one can realize or understand a pure devotee by his consciousness, by his activities, that is reflecting his consciousness. When we see very grossly. We see something which is very gross. We don't see the things beyond what we are actually seeing. To see things beyond what we are actually seeing, there needs an assistance of a sadhu, a shastra, a guru is required to see things beyond what we are seeing. And it may apparently, as aptly mentioned in this verse, that a pure devotee sometimes may look that he is also merged in the material elements. He is also going through material tribulations. Just like I mentioned that how Prabhupada experienced so many material tribulations. That is actually another teaching, that how Prabhupada is great souls, they teach to the world that how you can be undisturbed even amidst most tribulating situations. In a tribulating state of situation, it is quite natural to be disturbed. We need just one very insignificant situation to be disturbed. We need just one very insignificant thing to be disturbed mentally. We see sometimes people get so disturbed for a very insignificant thing. And for that very insignificant thing, they so much so that they give up their devotional service. They dissociate with Vaishnavas. So that is the whip of Maya. Maya wants, so that means we are so cheaply getting defeated. That's what we can understand. Little bit tribulation. It can be anything with respect to dealing with people. It can be with our own body. A little bit trouble in the body. It will affect our consciousness. It will affect our mind. No? Because when material energy wants to win upon us, it has its own style. It has its own methodology how to win upon. For an ordinary man, for an ordinary people, for them that doesn't make any sense, because they are already under the grip of the material energy. But problem for the material energy is for those who are trying to become, who are trying to get out of the grip. So test is for the aspiring devotees who are aspiring to become devotee. So material energy has its own way how to capture through the minds. Because devotees know that when Maya comes grossly, devotees become very conscious. They are easily able to discriminate grossly. But subtly, it's very difficult. So, more so, material energy takes the subtle route of disturbing the progress of a person who is aspiring to become a devotee of the Lord. But a self-realized soul is never disturbed by any kind of materially, so to say, a state of tribulation. He is not disturbed. Although externally he may look like he is embodied by material elements. And Prabhupada exhibited that also. That Leela also exhibited how the most difficult testing time is the time of giving up this body. Now, that is the highest most state of tribulation that anyone can experience in this world, and Prabhupada exhibited that also to us, that how to remain unaffected at the situation which is the highest most state of tribulation. Then question may arise that why all these things it has to happen through, why they have to altogether undergo all these things? They are pure devotees. They are great devotees. They are Atmadriks. Why they can't be relieved from these external situations through which they undergo such kind of transformations? This is because pure devotees never they respect the laws of nature. They respect the laws of nature. The laws of nature in this material world has to operate. The laws of nature is janma, mrityu, jara, yadi. A self-realized soul, just because he has become self-realized, he is a great devotee of the Lord, he doesn't expect that material laws should not be operating on me. Generally, an immature devotee or who is sentimental, we see sometimes, they expect that because they are performing devotional service, there should be no bad upon them. They should not go through any tribulations. Sometimes we experience that. Sometimes when something bad happens in the life of a devotee, in their own way, they question, oh, why this to me? Why Lord has given this to me? We see sometimes. So their understanding is that on the strength of their, so to say, whatever a bit of devotional activities they have done, they should be always good. There should be no bad upon them. They should not experience any tribulation. This is their understanding, which is not the right understanding of a devotee. And pure devotees also exhibit that just because I am a pure devotee of the Lord. Actually, the pure devotee of the Lord never considers themselves, first of all, as a pure devotee. That is the first and foremost. But even if we understand in a way that they are pure devotees of the Lord, they don't expect the laws of material nature should become inoperative upon them while they are living in this material world. Why? Because they are pure devotee. Because they respect the laws of nature. The laws of nature operates within this material creation, and they respect that. And when they experience or go through these laws of nature, what is their state of consciousness is what Kapila Muni is explaining here. They are awake. Externally, they may be looking like they are like merged in the material nature. They are merged in the material elements, but they are awake. Then they are free from the false ego. They are freed. They are considered to be freed from false ego. They don't act on the platform of false ego. In the platform of false ego, everyone identify everything for their own sense gratification. But a pure Vaishnava, a great devotee of the Lord, he is always looking upon things, how to engage that in the service of the Lord. And that's what Kapila Muni is explaining here, and the same purport, Prabhupada also elaborates that. And Prabhupada also further elaborates on that fact, that how one should not consider a pure devotee to be among an ordinary man. Ordinary men, we are always influenced by ignorance. And their vision is always superior. There are many pastimes how a pure devotee, it's difficult to comprehend externally. Their vision is transcendental. It's not ordinary, although apparently looking may be like ordinary. Once Srila Prabhupada, in the Western world, when he is preaching, he inspired many Westerners, we know that. So one devotee who was regularly visiting the Prabhupada's association, he was taking the benefit of visiting temples frequently and became attracted to Prabhupada's mission. And he was employed in a very good company, a very great company, very nice salary. But because of his regular association with the temple, it was obvious that he wanted to give up his material perseveration. And once he wanted to meet Prabhupada and express his desire that I want to join your mission. So that was the initial days. So he meets Prabhupada and he expresses, Prabhupada, I want to join your mission. So Prabhupada inquires from him, what are you doing? So he says that he is working in such and such company and such. Then Prabhupada says, oh, you are working in such a big company and big position, you must be also having good money, salary. So yes, because of his position, he was having a good perks. So Prabhupada says, why do you want to give up such a nice profession? Prabhupada says, then the devotee says, no, I have become distasteful. I have found enough of this. So now I want to dedicate myself to your mission. So I don't wish to continue there. So you don't believe, Prabhupada says, no, my wish is that you continue. No, you are earning nicely, you contribute that money to the temple. No, that is my wish, that is my will. So devotee comes here expressing his wish that I want to give up that engagement and fully dedicate. And Prabhupada is saying here, externally it may look like Prabhupada is like money-minded. So one cannot externally judge a pure devotee. No, one cannot judge a pure devotee externally. The same thing happened with George Harrison also, if you remember. George Harrison was a great musician. He was a great pop singer. And sometimes devotees used to try that he joins the mission, because if George Harrison becomes a full-time missionary of Prabhupada's mission, then that will be something fantastic. This is what the devotees felt. But Prabhupada forbade his devotees not to do like that. So that's Prabhupada's mission. That's Prabhupada's vision is something different. Our vision will be something different. Even though we may be a practicing devotee, not necessarily that we may match with the vision of a great Vaishnava, great devotee. But we can train ourselves how to see the way how great devotees see this world. It's very, very difficult to comprehend. That's why it is said, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra, Vignehena Bhujaya. One cannot understand the activities of great devotees simply by external vision. They are in a liberated state, although apparently they may look like they are bound by the material nature, by the material body, but they are liberated. They are supposed to be considered to be liberated. No. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Prabhupada quotes, the previous verse also, Prabhupada says, that one who has engaged everything, his vital energy, his wealth, his intelligence and his words in the service of the Lord, or who desires to engage all these things in the service of the Lord, no matter how he is situated, is to be considered a liberated soul or Satyadrik. No. For that, what has to be done? We will catch the last part, liberated. No matter however situated, liberated. We are all situated in no matter in different ways. So we'll catch the second part. We'll forget the first part. What is the first part? His vital energy, his wealth, his intelligence, and his words. Karmana manasa gira. One has to engage his vital energy. We have lots of energy in our body. So much energy. Physical energy, mental energy, creative energy. Our mind can create many things, wonderful things. We have many people, some people are blessed with so much of talents. So there is an energy, there is a talent energy within everyone. So Prabhupada says that, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says that such wide energy, it's not just energy, his vital energy has to be engaged in the service of Krishna. Only for Krishna. Not sometimes engage in service of Krishna, sometimes engaging in my service. No, in Kannada we used to say, Swami Seva, Swaseva. No, you do service of the Lord, in that you do my service also. Not like that. His engage his wealth, his intelligence, and his words. Human intelligence is, even the science also has figured out. The intelligence that the human energy or the human brain has is unparalleled. That's why we see the creation, the innovations that is happening is because of the abundance reservoir of intelligence that is there in this world, in the human energy, in the human mind energy, in the brain energy. But he engages this intelligence in the service of the Lord. But we use our intelligence in a destructive way. We use our intelligence in a way to satisfy ourselves. We use our intelligence to project ourselves superior. We use our intelligence not to expose our failures. No? Sometimes we don't want to expose our failures. We do a lot of intellectual planning not to expose our failures. Sometimes, someone fails in service. We see this sometimes, at least in the professional life. It is very hard to accept failures. He knows that he has failed, but he wants to patch up. To patch up, intelligence is required. But same intelligence could have been used in succeeding also. It can happen. So like this, we use our intellectual energy in so many things other than in the service of the Lord. And Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says that when we employ this three things, what is that? Our vital energy, our wealth, intelligence and the words, when it is engaged in the service of the Lord in toto, fully, then he is considered to be in the liberated state. Jivan mukta sa uchyate. Nikilashu sa avasthasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. Although he may be living in this material world, he is considered to be in a liberated state of, and that is a state of the state of existence of the great devotees or the pure Vaishnavas who are living in this material world. Although they are spiritually situated in terms of their consciousness, but although they may externally be manifested in this material world, but they are always in a liberated state of consciousness. That's what we can understand in this. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.